Now, I told you earlier, the policemen are only the second most rogue people in Japan. The most rogue people, kindergartners. Yeah, you're like, oh God, what could go wrong with kindergartners in Japan? Well, let me tell you what could go wrong. First of all, let me lay the vision for you. These kindergartners in Japan, they see short Japanese women all day. All right? Are you with me? Short, skinny Japanese women. So if they see a man, it's noteworthy. It's a man. Whoa. If they see a tall man, it's even more whoa. It's like, tall man. That's noteworthy. But if they see a tall white man, it's like, hold the presses. This is never going to happen again. I need to text a friend. I need to let them know. This is exciting. You can't believe this shit is happening. A white man has shown up at the kindergarten. All right? So that's the context. And I roll into kindergarten. All right? Now, I lived in Japan about 8 years, and one of my jobs was to go to a nursery school once a week and teach them English, right? And early on, I learned they were really jacked up to see me, and that was great. And there's nothing like being loved by the masses, except, and this is a big except. This is like the biggest of the excepts. These kindergartners in Japan have a fucked up way of showing their appreciation for you. Because, and the first time this happened to me, I had no idea how to process this. So I'm like there, hey guys, we're going to learn some English. What the fuck? And it's a true story. The first time it happened, I went home and I was like, am I losing my fucking mind? Because there was just no template in my brain to process what had happened. And I was like, all right, I'm just going to pretend that didn't happen, and hopefully it won't happen again, and we'll be cool, because I like Japan. The food's great. The people are great. That's fine. And I go back. All right, whatever. So I go back to the nursery school. Second time, same thing happens. I'm on it. I turn around. I'm like, oh, shit. It's real. Because these kids, and you can fact check this is a real thing. In fact, don't believe me, you can Google it. And I'll give you a way to Google in a second. As a way of showing their affection for you, these kids like to sneak up behind you. And trust me, sneak up is the proper term there. Because you don't see this coming, and you don't feel this coming. They sneak up behind you, and with all the force they can muster, they stick 2 fingers as deep into your rectum as possible. And if you don't believe me, check it out. Everybody's got a smartphone. Look up Kancho, K-A-N-C-H-O, statue. Now, that's the fucked up part about the statue part. Check it out. Everybody go check it out, check it out, check it out. Kancho statue. I'll wait. And you know what I'm going to hear? I'm going to hear laughter from everybody as soon as they hit the send button. They're going to see the Kancho statue. There you go. See? You can't make this shit up, right? All right. For the benefit of the people who do not have a smartphone with you, let me visualize what the Kancho statue looks like. There's man number 1 with this gesture, and there's child number 2 with this gesture. With maximum, ninja-like squat force to thrust 2 fingers up your rectum as fast as possible. All right. Now, this begs a lot of questions, so I'll try to just focus on one question. Who the hell sponsors that statue? How does that get funded? I'm seriously, first, who pays for that? All right, later on, after I'm done, you can break into groups and you can discuss, is it the masochist thinking about his childhood memories of getting fingers stuck up his ass? Or is the sadist Who was like, oh, God, I can't get enough of sticking fingers up somebody's butt. Maybe it's a question that will never be answered properly. That's cool. All right, I lied. There's a second question. So let's just say there is some fucked up guy who decides, I'm going to give like thousands of dollars for this statue. What committee approves that? All right, it's a committee of Japanese people, and they're like, yeah, we got an offer here for $10,000 for a Concho statue. I'm thinking you don't fund that. I'm thinking, no, tell the guy to take his fucking $10,000 and build his own statue. You know what I'm saying? Well, obviously I'm jaded because I was conchoed multiple times. Not twice, multiple times. So obviously I'm biased. So after it happened multiple times, I was like, what the I gotta do some research into this thing. So the first thing I did was start to ask about I asked other foreigners who lived in Japan. I'm like, hey, dudes, I go to the kindergartens. I hear you go to the kindergartens too. I got to ask, do they? And that's all they would have to say. And the guys are like, yes, they do. I was like, oh, shit, this is like a national phenomenon. I was like, that's a whole nother layer of like, how the fuck do I stop this shit? So I was like, Jesus. So I was like, all right. So very, 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 very reluctant after I had my anus probed way too many times. I made a reluctant decision because I don't like to be a snitch. I've never snitched anybody out in my entire life. And then I was like, I got to snitch these 4-year-olds out. And so I was like, oh, shit. So I was like, but fine. You know why? You know what the ultimate tipping point was? I was like, you know what? It's not cool to rat on 4-year-olds as a grown man. Fair enough. Totally agree with the argument. But here's how I rationalized it. It's also totally not cool for an adult to say, it's totally cool to show your affection for another person by sticking 2 fingers up their rectum. Would you agree? All right, that's how I rationalized it. So I decided to sit down with the sensei, and I was like, all right, the fateful day, I sit down with the sensei, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna throw these kids down the butt. I'm just gonna throw them down the river. I'm just gonna tell them everything. I'm not, because you can't half-ass it if you're gonna throw somebody down the river. So I imagine I'm ready to provide like names, inches up my rectum, dates, and I'm thinking, it's like, fine, I'm just going to rip the Band-Aid out. So I sit down with the sensei, the fateful day, and I said, Sensei, the lady's in charge. Who's in charge of these kids, right? And I was like, I said, sumimasen, excuse me, konomo-tachi wa yoku watashi ni kanshou shimasu. I say, and by the way, I know you don't know Japanese, some of you. Let me translate. Excuse me, these children often give me enemas in class. So you're welcome. Now you know the Japanese word for enema, kancho. And I'm expecting the sensei to be like, to be horrified and like, the children are sticking their fingers up your butt in my class? Not in my class. I will step on this and I will destroy this. This is a purge on my authority. I could not have been more wrong. Because the sensei says, so desu ne. Konomo-tachi wa yoku kanshou shimasu ne. And if I could roughly translate, the sensei was like, basically, yeah, the children often give enemas, don't they? That's what they do. Children, they give enemas. That's what they do. And I was like, oh, fuck. So I was like, holy shit. And this is like the point in the movie where the good guy gets enough fucking courage to go to the police and rat out the criminal gang, and halfway through telling the police, realizes the police are in with the criminal gang, and they're on an island. It's worse than ever. And it's like these sensei are like, yeah, they stick their finger up your butt. That's what they do. So I was like, holy Jesus, I gotta protect myself. Now I'm like, worse than all right. Now, the good part of the story is I learned that humans are adaptable. And thrown into a weird situation, the survival instinct kicks in, right? And I learned that the wall is now my friend. So every time I went to the nursery school, I was like, hey guys, you want to learn some English? Don't mind me, just hanging out by the wall. I like the wall. I ain't leaving the wall. So don't even think about, doing the whole gun thing. Because it ain't happening. Hello. And life was good. Temporarily. I was not conchoed for a good couple of weeks. And I let my guard down. Because here's what happened. A few weeks later, I pull in the parking lot. Let me set the scene for you. So I pull in the parking lot, and there was a classroom, empty, for some reason, always empty, followed by an empty corridor, followed by their classroom, right? And so every once a week, I would go to there, I would park, I would put on my little dorky Japanese slippers, and I would walk through the empty classroom, walk through the empty corridor, and go teach them English and stand by the wall at all times. Are you with me? So I arrived this day, and mysteriously, there was this one kid in the window of the empty classroom. And I pull in, and he's like, Patton, da! And he's so jacked. And I was like, it's good to be loved. I thought it was a good thing at the time. And I was like, hello, I'm here to teach you English and stand by the wall at all times. And I didn't think anything of it. And I go and put on my dorky slippers, and I walk through the empty classroom, and I walk halfway through the empty corridor on the way to the classroom. And I found out that kid was a fucking scout. Because I'm halfway through the empty corridor, and they pour out in mass. And then I'm surrounded, 15 of them, and I'm in the middle of the corridor, no wall to protect me. And by the way, just as a side note, because I'm a dork, I like to watch these documentaries on animals. And for some reason, I was watching this documentary the other day, and it was like lions versus hyenas battling over a carcass. And there was, and just FYI, if there's a lion battling a hyenas for hyenases for a carcass, how many hyenases do you need to beat the lion? The answer's 5. And they showed a video 8. It was cool. It was like the lion was like, hang, and then one hyenas was cool, 2, 3, 4. And then 5 later, the lion's like, fuck it, I'm out of here. It's 5. I only tell you this because I discovered that in the battle of me protecting my anus versus Japanese children, the magic number is somewhere south of 15. So, and I am so thankful that this was before YouTube and viral videos, because this totally would have gone viral. I go into swipe mode. And I'm literally both hands swiping my rectum as strong as I can. And I realized that opened me up to a frontal assault. Because one kid decided it would be a good idea with all his might to go, BAM! It's hit me right in the testicles. And I was like, holy shit, that kid just hit me in the testicles. I really need to stop that from happening again. And then I realized, but if I deal with that kid, I've got 14 other kids who are going to swirl around me and gang, concho me. So I go back to swiping again. And this is going to be hard to believe, but this kid that punched me in the testicles circles around and punches me a second time. Same testicles, even more powerful the second time. And I look at him and I was like, Dame. And he's like, Dame. And he's like, he's a moving target. Dame. And I was like, oh shit, I've still got 14 others. And I go back to Dame. Dame means no. No. Are you with me? So go back to swiping again. I'm swiping. Kid circles around a third time. Bam! Hits me a third time. I know. Hard to believe. It was hard for me to believe. It was hard for my testicles to believe. My testicles are like, what the fuck's going on? What's wrong with you? Why do you keep swiping on your butt, man? You got bigger fish to fry here. I know it's hard to believe, but it's fucking Japan. And I was like, oh, shit. Well, no. I didn't even think, oh, shit. I act like I'm thinking. At this point, I'm not thinking. This is the only time in my entire life I had an out-of-body experience. You know, most people talk about out-of-body experiences like they see Jesus and shit. I just saw fucking rage. I wish I saw Jesus. I was like, Jesus, where the fuck are you? Protect my testicles, Jesus. Where the hell are you? I wish I saw Jesus. All I saw, here's what I saw. I'm not shitting you. This was an out-of-body experience because all this rest of the story was not my brain processing this. This was what was happening outside of my body. Outside of my body was picking the kid up. And I was like, eh. And by the way, I can already tell some of you ladies are judging me. Most men, when I tell the story, are like, you showed amazing restraint. Most women are like, what the fuck were you thinking? What's wrong with you, Patton, son? You're an asshole. Men are like, amazing restraint. Good job, Patton, son. There's definitely a gender gap on this story. Complete gender gap. So I take the kid up. And again, this was the part of the brain that this like primordial part of the brain that doesn't let your testicles just randomly get punched by random people taking over. And so I was like, Dame. And I'm not proud of this, but his head was kind of flapping each time. I am kind of proud. I am not musical. I am not rhythmical. But there was a certain rhythm of this. It was kind of a beautiful rhythm. It was the only time in my life that there was a complete rhythm to this. So it was like, Dame. And then on about the 8th Dame, I was like, Dame! And then I flung him, and he went flying across the room. Boom, and he lands. And I look at him. Oh, my God. He is euphoric. He looks like he's high on a combo of meth and heroin and pot and any possible drug. And he's just like, holy fuck, that was cool. I was like, all right, that's fucked up. And I was like, all right, well, he may be excited, but at least I must... And I'm not proud that I lost my mind, but at least I was like, at least I probably sent a message to the other 14-year-olds, right? And they're not going to be like punching me in the testicles, right? Right? No, it's Japan. And they all, I swear to God, they all look at me and they go, that looked fun, do that to me again. Do that to me too. That looked fun. And I was like, holy Now, As if that's not messed up enough. 1 month later, exactly 1 month later, guess what? The same exact nursery school says, hey, Patton son, we want you to come back to this nursery school. I was like, fine. Do you want me to teach English like usual? Like, no. It's a special occasion. I was like, all right, cool. What do you want me to do? And they're like, we want you to be Santa Claus. I was like, oh, gee, what the fuck could go wrong? So I go back a month later, and this is what it transpires. Well, first of all, here's the thing. I was dressed up like Santa, so it was a big special occasion. So they had the kids who had stuck their finger up my butt regularly over here in this corner. They had kids who had seen me once a month right in front of me, and kids who had never, ever seen me over here. I was like, that's a mixed audience right there. But what the hell, I'm getting paid for this. And by the way, just to let you know the background, I am the only white man in the entire town. So I was the obvious choice for Santa. So I'm like, what the hell, I'm getting paid for it. All right, Santa's a good gig, right? I mean, what could go wrong? Other than sticking their finger up your butt, whatever. Or punching you in the testicles. So I come in, I'm like, ho, 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 Merry Christmas! And these kids over here were like, holy shit, it's a white male Santa. We have won the lottery. Yes! What do we do to deserve this? Yes! And I look over here and they're like, I feel like I've seen that white dude before. Then I look over here and they're like, it's fucking Pat, what the fuck? I was like, I'm not even going to look at you. I have bad memories of you people. And they're like, hi, I'm just going to concentrate on the people who love me. I was like, ho, 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 watashi wa dare? Watashi wa dare? I'm like, who am I? And they're like, these kids are like, Santa! And I'm like, hell yes, I'm Santa. And I'm like, who am I? Watashi wa dare? And they're like, Santa? And I'm like, that's right. No, don't need to take the question mark off. I'm Santa. It's all good. And I'm like, watashi wa dare? And they're like, Patton! I was like, all right, I'm getting paid for this. It's cool. It's not going to throw me off. I'm like, Patton wa dare? And I'm like, who's Patton? And they're like, you! And I was like, oh, shit. That's knocked me off my block a little bit. And I was like, all right, screw you. I'm going to look over these people. So I literally turned my back to them. And I started talking to these people. And I'm like, I'm going to focus on the people who love me. You can't be with the people who stick their finger up your butt. Love the people you're with, right? It's a weird analogy. Never mind. Don't think too deeply on that. So I'm like, hey, ho, 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 Merry Christmas. How are you? And I'm like talking to these people. These kids start heckling me. 1 month ago, they were busting my balls literally. Now they're busting my balls metaphorically. I'm just going to ignore them. Ho, 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 Merry Christmas. And they just keep it. They're just on and on and on. I was like, ho, ho, ho. Just shut the fuck up. I was like, all right. This is not going to work. So let me tell you some ground rules here. I said, Santa has some ground rules. Basically two. The two ground rules are, first of all, you got to be nice, not naughty. So have you been naughty or have you been nice? And they're like, we've been nice. I was like, all right, I feel like you answered that a little too early. Let me be a little bit more specific. Have you, well, let me be very specific on what I define as naughty. Have you perhaps stuck two fingers up an innocent American teacher's butt for no reason? They're like, no! And I'm like, okay, all right. And have you, and again, I'm just spitballing here. There's lots of different naughties out there. There's a lot of potential naughties. I'm just giving you one example of what might be considered naughty by Santa. Have you ever hauled off and just randomly hit an American male teacher in the testicles for no reason? No! I'm like, I'm like, all right. Just remember, Santa knows if you've been naughty, and Santa knows if you've been nice, and Santa knows if you've stuck your fingers deep into the rectum of an innocent American teacher's butt. So just factor that in as I'm deciding presents. Okay, I'm looking at you. All right, and then there's a second thing that Santa cares about. All right? The second thing that Santa cares about is you don't get presents unless you deeply believe that I'm Santa. So let's ask the same fucking question again, okay? All right. Watashi wa dare? And they're like, Santa! I'm like, you're getting some fucking presents. Like, who am I? And they're like, Santa! And they're like, you're getting presents too. Watashi wa dare? And they're like, Santa! And I'm like, yeah. The second most important question is, who's your daddy now? Thank you, been a great audience.